Greetings and salutations, everybody. So the other day I'm watching Colin Cowherd's show, The Herd. He has Steven Jackson on there. For y'all who don't know or are new to my channel, I have a love and not a love-hate relationship with Steven Jackson. That hate is a strong word. I really appreciate his candidness, and I always say that. It's just he has some things that he strongly stands on that I may disagree with. He has other things that he strongly stands on that I strongly agree with. So you can see where those things kind of conflict sometimes. So he went on Colin Cowherd's show, and Colin Cowherd asked him, are there any guys in the NBA that are that are surefire Hall of Famers that you feel like you were better than? And he answered with, he said, Colin was throwing guys out there. I will say this. He was throwing guys out there, and Steven just replied to him. He asked him Vince Carter. Nah, and I don't think he said he's better than Vince Carter. He did say he was better than, hold on, who did he say he was better than and I disagree with? I'm trying to think, who else did he say? But anyway, my point is, Colin came to him and asked him, he said Manu Ginobili. And he said that, yes, he feels like he was a better player than Manu Ginobili. He was better than Manu Ginobili, right? And so a lot of guys are going to call Steven Jackson a hater and say, you just mad because you got ousted off the Spurs team back in 2014. You feel like Tony Parker wasn't passing it to you. You kind of got sour grapes for how your tenure or your relationship with the Spurs organization ended. So some guys going to say that to Steven Jackson. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. As much as I love Manu Ginobili's game, as much as I was a fan of the Spurs run that they had, I think y'all really severely underrating Captain Jack. I looked at the statistics. I looked at the points per game, the scoring averages, and of course y'all gonna say, Manu played behind the greatest power forward to ever play the game in Tim Duncan, so of course his scoring averages are not going to be up there with Steven Jackson. He also played with Tony Parker, who was doing his share of the scoring as well. But I'm looking at Captain Jack's resume. His resume is much better than what you think. He was solid for years. I'm talking about 20 points per game in Charlotte. And was it in not Indiana? Was it it was in Charlotte, Golden State, and it might have been, was it Atlanta? 20 points a game. Other times in Indiana, he was 18 points per game, 19 points per game. And I'm being real with y'all. I think if you put Steven Jackson in Manu Ginobili's role, I think the outcome would be the same. I think they still will win those championships. And I could argue maybe Steven Jackson doesn't miss that free throw that Manu Ginobili missed that allowed the Miami Heat to keep within grasp to win that series. Remember, Kawhi Leonard and also Manu Ginobili missed free throws that allowed Ray Allen to hit that game-time three-point shot. If they would have hit those free throws, game would have been over. Game 6 would have been done. Miami Heat would have never won back-to-back championships that year. I think Steven Jackson knocks those free throws down. Steven can shoot as well as maybe better. I think better than Manu, in my opinion. He plays defense. He's always been a workaholic, always have a tenacious attitude, always brings it, has a fire within him, and he knocks down some tremendous shots. I watched a highlight clip on YouTube. He was going back and forth with Kobe Bryant in the game, like when he was with Golden State. They were going neck and neck, and Kobe like in disbelief, like this man keep hitting big time shot after shot. And I think a lot of guys underrate him and say, you ain't nobody, you ain't nobody. A lot of the younger generation, because he was never an all-star. But I'm thinking the league had to be on fire because Captain Jack played with the small forward, the shooting guard position. Had to been on fire where he wasn't an all-star. I'm looking at several seasons where he averaged 18. And I'm looking in the past, 18 points per game, got a lot of dudes, NBA all-star looks. They was all-star guys on that all-star ballot. 21 points. He like 21 points a game in Charlotte, got Charlotte to the playoffs. The first time they got to the playoffs, Captain Jack was there with Tyson Chandler and Gerald Wallace, leading them young boys to the playoffs for the very first time. And I think that should be something that should be noted in his career. He's hit big time shots, got Dallas out of there, and then when they was the eighth seed, he was a catalyst for that, man. Him along with Monte Ellis, Baron Davis, Jason Richardson, Andres Biedrins, Matt Barnes came off the bench, and that's where he surged as a guy that you would need on the bench, a key pivotal player. I think he made his mark during that time, that series. Matt Barnes, I'm speaking of, during that series where Golden State Warriors, an 8th seed, beat the number 1 seed Dallas Mavericks. I think you got to take all of that stuff into consideration when you're looking at the career paths of both players. I think that the Spurs would have still run those rings, and I think Captain Jack would be a Hall of Famer if he had those rings. Real talk, with the same statistics that he has, I think he would be a surefire Hall of Famer. And you will ask, will his scoring average drop? Yeah, just a little bit. But I still think Jack gonna do his thing alongside Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, if you ask me. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. That first championship, was that 02? When they beat the New Jersey Nets? When they beat the New Jersey Nets with Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, and Richard Jefferson, Captain Jack got him up out of there. I remember watching that series at my grandfather's house in his bedroom. Me and my grandfather looking like, dang, oh my God. He was hitting clutch shot after clutch shot, big threes, and he earned himself a contract with the Indiana Pacers after that, which the Spurs didn't want to pay Steven Jackson after that run, which is preposterous to me. But, I mean, they still ended up winning several championships without him. But I was like, damn, at least play the man. He balled out like that. But, hey, you know the name of the game. We ain't trying to come off more chains than we might feel you worth, or we might got to play these other guys. We might got to pay Tim Duncan and Manu and all these other guys. So we're going to, maybe they might feel like he was a liability due to temperament sometimes. So they like, okay, we're going to let you go. We're going to keep these guys who are guys that we know are not what some people may deem head cases or headstrong, but I honestly feel like if you look at the averages, Captain Jack averages, scoring averages are better than Manu's. And I still think that Captain Jack would have progressed better towards the end of his career, better than Manu, in my opinion. I really do. I still think he would have still been, I think at this point in their careers, Captain Jack, because I really don't know why Captain Jack got the league. He's not a buster. He's not sorry at all. Maybe I think people feel like he's too headstrong. I really think that's really the reason why he's too outspoken. But I think if he had the same temperament as a Tony Parker or Manu Ginobili, Captain Jack would still be in the league right now. And Manu, you see, he has that great temperament that everybody loves, the team attitude. He's not in the league right now. So you got to take that in consideration. I think Captain Jack was a better overall player than Manu, even though Manu introduced that Euro step and that sham god and all that stuff that we love, and I'm a fan of it. I watched it. I marveled at it. Sham god and dunking on dudes like that. But Captain Jack was something else. And I promise y'all, if he was in a more winning teams or championship atmosphere, I think he would be looked at through a total different lens if he won some more championships. If he was on the Lakers, if he was on the maybe the Miami Heat teams, if he was on the Dallas Mavericks or guys that made nice deep playoff runs, I think he would be looked at in a different light. I think a lot of young guys don't really know who Jack is, so they think he's just BSing and talking out the side of his neck. But I challenge everybody to look at that man's scoring averages, look at Manu's, and compare those scoring averages. And look, you're going to be surprised how well Steven Jackson was doing. You're going to be surprised how well he was putting in that work, man. So I'm going to be real with y'all, man. I'm not going to agree with everybody that he named, and Colin was throwing out names, and Jack was just agreeing, and you're supposed to do that as an NBA player, but I guess sometimes you may not supposed to do that because he's not currently in the league, and neither are some of the other guys that he named. But I think he was better than Manu. I think he was better than Manu. Y'all, people just say that now because of the effect that they saw what Manu did with the Spurs. I think if Steven Jackson would have stayed with the Spurs, the result would have been the same thing. Being honest, for real. And Steven Jackson would have been on the All-Star team if he would have stayed with the Spurs and would have replaced Manu. If you switch those guys out, Steven Jackson would be a Hall of Famer. He would have had the same career and maybe same scoring averages or maybe slightly better. But I think you can interchange those two, and they still win the championships because Steven Jackson going to play, ball out, going to hit big shots, going to play defense, but he going to bring that heart of a dog with him. And that's going to help edge him out. And I think they probably would have beat the Miami Heat had they had Steven Jackson to knock those free throws down, man. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out.